All right, guys, let's go. We got a banging series here that has been, I've had my ear talked off about how good this series was for a while. It's the upper bracket quarterfinals from HomeStory Cup. We've got Reynor from Kaiser Gaming in the top right. And people have said this is such a good series. It took me a while to track down the replays. There's like a virus detected in the replay pack, but it was a false positive. Some whole drama, but we finally got the replays. So we're going to be bringing you some matches from HomeStory Cup. There was a lot of really good ones played there. His opponent is Alpha X Astrea. Now, the reason this is such an exciting series is because Astrea is one of the most creative Protoss players out there. He's always at the head of the meta, and he regularly gets ahead versus the best players in the world in every matchup. Now, Astrea's big weakness is finishing the opponent. His decisive attack timings aren't really there. He's a player who likes to kind of work ahead strategically, get leads. He lacks the micro finesse and killer instinct of a hero. What he has, though, is next-level build orders, like really next-level build orders, and amazing attention to detail, great strategic understanding, and some of the best tricks in the game. So, I mean, Astrea is always so fun to watch because he just finds ways to play the game in his own unique manner. So far, he's blocked the expansion, he's harassing with the probe, he forced Reynor to take this third out the front, and he just goes for a very standard follow-up so far behind Nexus into Cybercore into the second gas geyser. And that spawning pool is going to finish there. You do expect Reynor to go pretty quickly into Ling speed once he hits 100 and then pull off gas. Astrea, most likely you would expect to play Stargate in this matchup, but on this map, high chance of Twilight Council. Now, Reynor's already in pretty close with his Overlord. He could go in deeper and confirm it. Let's see exactly what Astrea goes for. Adept. Warp Gate starts up. Unless he cancels that Warp Gate, I would imagine we're going to see a Twilight Council here, and the Overlord for Reynor going just straight in. Bit of a gamble. If it's Stalker first, this is a free kill for the Stalker. But as it is, Twilight Council goes down on the natural where he can't actually see it. I like that. Little detail from Astrea. Reynor doesn't want to give the Overlord away for free. I think he's in so deep. If it was a Stalker, it would die either way there. But maybe he's judged it out just perfectly so it can escape. In this case, though, it is actually an Adept coming to pressure. The Stalker only coming out as the second unit, making sure that Overlord doesn't come back in to confirm the scout. Adept coming forward right now. And does he let it finish? Yeah. He's just going to stop drones from transferring between the bases. Third base is up as well as Zergling speed. Now, Reynor's been on an absolute tear lately. I think a lot of players who maybe only watch the biggest tournaments might be thinking, oh, was Reynor in a slump? Didn't look that great in GSL. It's the one tournament he didn't look that great in. That's honestly, he's been playing, he was playing like tournaments all week leading up to it online. He was playing 2 tournaments the days following it as well. Literally the day after and the day after that. And he was doing great in all of them. But that day in GSL, maybe a little under the weather, maybe just not focusing on the right things, maybe a little thrown off since they forced him to lock in Zerg for the entire tournament. Whereas I think he went to Korea expecting to be able to play Protoss. And he's been putting so much time into his Protoss, working especially on his PVZ. Ends up getting eliminated in GSL. Does barely, he kind of messed up a little bit against some Zerg versus Terran against some all-ins, which was a bit of a bummer. Very uncharacteristic because he's normally so solid in that matchup. But he ended up being eliminated in a Zerg versus Zerg. And oh, wow, Astrea with a bit of a mistake here. Oh, the Lings shove in those Adepts, not quite in the right position. This is a fantastic trade here for Reynor. Gets it. I mean, this is only like 10 Zerglings, but Zerglings normally aren't that scary. Oh, good micro by Astrea. He hasn't lost a single probe. Oh, that was amazing. The way he kept phasing back the strong ones by clicking on the minerals and then sending the full hit, the weak ones, sorry, and then sending the full hit point ones forward. That was a beautiful maneuver. It is a DT shrine with just 2 gateways, so it's going to be a quick nexus going up. These Adepts looking to try and distract if possible. Don't think the Creep Tumor saw them there. He's going to warp in these Adepts in the near future. Prism moving out to that left side. Great creep control so far by Reynor. He's building a Spore in each base as well. They're going to finish just on time. Lair, Roach Warren, all off just 1 gas geyser. Only 35 drones, so definitely a very low economy for Reynor. And he's going to want to find something else here. The Queens do come in. DT's going to try and do some damage. And, well, as long as there's no Overseer, there's no detection out here. One Queen does go down. Oh, Stalker's going to die. That's not a wall-off. That is, though. Good play by Astrea. Adepts come back, trap those Zerglings as well. They do clean all those up. And as long as Astrea remembers to clean up those pylons, he'll be good. DT's still having a bit of fun. Pylons do get cancelled. Third base is up. Full worker advantage for the Protoss player. Queens are coming forward. The lair is about to finish, which will finally allow Reynor to bring Overseers down here. Oh, look at that. Goes after the Queens. And he's going to get even more creep tumors here. I like this, really. I mean, it's like, hey, you're going to have to spend all that energy respreading that creep. It slows it down a lot. Lings are doing a bit of a run by, though. Whoops in a DT there, as well as 2 Adepts. DT moves forward. Adepts get themselves in the choke point. And Reynor has to back on off. Forge is going up, as well as 2 more gateways. I would expect a Blink transition. And indeed, Blink does start up here for Astrea. Roach Warren's on the way. Evo Chamber. 2 more gases there as well. So Reynor's up. Equal workers. DT's coming in looking for some more juicy pickoffs. But Reynor pulls the drones away. Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Astrea. Uh-oh, he's going to take some damage. But he gets out of there. Observer does go down, though. 4th hatchery going down at the 6-minute mark. +1 range. Now, Reynor, much like the Korean Zergs, has learnt the power of just massing roaches and letting the Protoss come to you. Dark, I remember, in Rogue, I used to watch their games and be like, hey, aren't you worried about the long game? Because I was used to playing against these Protoss players that just sit back and defend. And I was like, man, you got to be greedy, you got to be greedy. But you'll see sometimes these guys, and Reynor, he's started doing it as well, especially when he's in a bit of a hard position. He'll just mass roach off 65, 70 workers. And if the Protoss attacks thinking, oh yeah, you'll be teching up, you're going to go Hive and Broodlords and double Evo, he might just surround them and massacre them. And obviously, the longer it goes, the worse that mass roach is. But Reynor is adding a bit more longevity this time around. He's got, you know, Baneling Nest on the way. He'll go Baneling speed. He might go melee after that +1 range as well. Robobay's on the way here for Astrea. He's on 4 gateways, going up to about 6 or 7. And that Overseer sets up in pervert mode. Could still get sniped by a Stalker there. Let's look at the units lost tab. So far, it's been 2 Adepts, an Observer, and a Stalker for 15 Zerglings, an Overlord, a Queen, and 9 Creep Tumors. Very close in the units lost tab, but look at that. The Queens immediately have been respreading the creep, doing a good job. And here we go. Blink Stalkers and Archons coming forward. The Adepts do get surrounded. Astrea wants to take a 4th base behind this. He's not going to be able to, as the Lings will be able to clear that up. The Archons get an Overseer, though. Forces a bunch of Ravagers to morph. That's a good move. If you can force Reynor with pokes like this to just mass roach Ravager, as we said, that's an army that doesn't scale well in the long term. Blink's not quite done yet. The Archon Stalker is going to be super effective at fighting off creep, but he's just a bit worried because Blink isn't ready just yet. Loses a Stalker there, but has his 4th base on the way. The first Disruptor's coming out, and it's about even on the upgrades as +1 range finishes for Reynor. More Ravagers and Lings being made by him. 70 workers to 68 for the Protoss player. A couple Roaches do get caught out. Wouldn't mind a Blink forward there for Astrea. It's a little risky, so he doesn't opt for it. Plays it a bit more safe. Gets a couple of these Roaches. He's going to Blink back, but uh-oh. He's getting surrounded. Does lose a Stalker. The Archon's trying to distract the Stalkers. They've got Blink off cooldown. Very good micro here by Astrea. He's got to watch out for those Biles, though. And he does indeed avoid them. There's a Disruptor out in the natural. He's going to look for an ambush shot. You know Astrea wants to land that big ball on Reynor's face. Reynor, you got to be quick. Oh! Good reaction by Reynor. Only loses 1 or 2 Roaches there. But I still feel like this is unbreakable. Baneling speed's done, and there's a lot of Banelings. Reynor's just going to try and shove. I don't know if this is the right call. I feel like this army, the cannons, the batteries, the Stalkers, especially with another Disruptor coming out, I think Astrea is rock solid right now. Those Disruptors. Oh, he goes for the Banelings. Great Disruptor shot, but amazing spready from Reynor. That Disruptor goes down before the Disruptor shot could actually finish there. Banelings crashing on forward. The battery overcharge is really doing a lot, though. And Reynor, now that he's lost the Banelings, there's still a ton of Stalkers left and the batteries. I think that's a very clean hold for Astrea. Yes, he lost, I think, 2 Disruptors. Actually, he only lost 1. The other one got into the natural and it did survive. Dodges the Biles there. Oh, he rallies a Disruptor out to its death, though. Bit of miss micro there from Astrea. I think Astrea, he's got an Archon there. He's thinking about dropping that on these Banelings and Lings that are rallying in. I wouldn't mind Astrea just shoving. I think he's got a big enough army to take out Reynor. I think Reynor's way too ambitious aggressively. Ravager goes down to that Disruptor shot. The Stalkers and that Archon going to try and hang on. I think that Archon will finally go down. There is an Archon coming in from behind, though, and that's actually going to do really well at picking off some of these Banelings or at least damaging them. Stalkers trying to get back. There's no Disruptors up here. I think that Prism needs to go pick up those Disruptors and get them down into the action. Disruptors try to come forwards, but okay, finally 2 Roaches and a Ravager. Not a bad shot. 77 workers for Astrea. The Prism goes down. Great move by Reynor. Reynor was pretty all in on this push, though, guys. Remember, he's got some workers on his 4th, but no 5th hatchery. He's just started his melee. He's still trying to hammer through, and he's looking for weakness in Astrea. Not I think, in terms of raw numbers, but in terms of his focus, he's hoping to catch him off guard. So far, though, Astrea's weathered the storm just fine. I would like to see him make a few more Archons and things that can really take a punch and rebuild things like shield batteries. They're not up just yet. Stalkers are going to try and defend. I do think Astrea also would like to be a bit further forward with his defense, because if he's pushed back, he doesn't have much room to retreat. Reynor coming in with the Banelings. The Stalkers are there. Good blink there, and he does block those Banelings. Beautiful play by Astrea. He hasn't really lost any workers at all this game. 7 in total. He's still up in the economy, but he's on an almost pure Stalker army. No second Robo, no Warp Prism, no Charge Lock counterattack. And this is sometimes where, like I said, Astrea's ahead, but where's the tech that's going to win him the game? A second Robo pumping, Immortals, Colossus, Disruptors right now would add so much power to his army. A few more Archons is not damn bad, but look at this. Banelings on the left side came in. That's what was distracting him. He's going to lose 2 Archons, but he does land some punishing Disruptor shots, so at least it's not for nothing. And remember that Reynor's the one who's a little bit more broken this game. If Astrea could take a 5th base, he can continue his economy advantage. Right now, I'd love to see him get a Zealot counterattack in, something like that. But Astrea, he's the master of defending economy, static, defending economy, static. And that does give Reynor room. If he chooses, he could go Infestation and try to transition. Reynor is saying, no. Dude, if I give him that room, he's just going to get too far out. I have to keep going at him, and I have to look for weakness. If I can just get lucky one time, get a round of Banelings in a mineral line, this game could turn around. Right now, Astrea has very little map control. He doesn't see this army to the last second, and that means, this base is super exposed. Banelings will easily find the worker line. The question is, at what cost? Attempts to spread the workers does Astrea. Banelings rolled in the left, but it looks like the Archons did defend on that side pretty darn well. Still up at 70 workers. The Nexus goes down as well, but I think he can just transfer workers from his other bases. Astrea's got a counter push, though. I mean, he's got such an army advantage right now. He's up on +2 attack. He's making more Archons. He's got 3 Disruptors, a Warp Prism there. He's going to start sending DTs into these bases, even though they do have Spores. He's got to start pushing and really utilize the fact that Reynor's trades have been very inefficient. 16,000 resources lost for Reynor, 10,000 for Astrea. Lings are going to come in. There is a cannon and a battery. That extra cannon will go down. DT goes down to Banelings in the main. Astrea does save the Dark Templar in the main base, though. Gets a couple of drones there. And he does keep his 4th base alive for now. I think Astrea could pounce whenever he chooses. I feel like, knowing Astrea, he's always looking for the perfect push timing, so he wants the +3 attack to be done. Reynor, on the other hand, starts the Infestation Pit, and that is not an Infestation Pit. This here is a Desperation Pit, because if you've thrown like 10 waves of Ravagerling Bane, you haven't done any real impactful damage, and then you start the Infestation Pit, you're desperate. You are in a pretty rough position. He's going to keep coming in and looking for angles. The Disruptors could zone this army out, though, quite easily. Doesn't really find the mark on anything, but doesn't throw away too many units. His Banelings do survive. He's got a few drones mixed in his army. That's a bit of an accident there. I would like to see Reynor take this base on the right side as well. Good setup for Reynor defensively, and he's got so much creep. It's hard to push into, especially with a mostly Stalker army. The Archon Disruptor count's growing, but if Astrea's not getting a 5th base, and he's not pushing, then Reynor's going to get more money. He's going to get Hive Tech. Where's the... Oh my god, the Banelings! Oh my god, they just click on the Nexus! Reynor literally just clicks like 50 Banelings in there and just like blows up the Nexus. A Disruptor kills another 20 Banelings. But is that even worth it? I mean, can he defend the counterattack is the question. He's going to try and do it, but man, I don't think this is going to work out very well for Reynor. I think Astrea can shove. He doesn't have enough Banelings. There's only about 20 Banelings left. They get, a couple of Archons and Stalkers. That's not going to clear the army. There's still 5 Archons, a 6th one finishing. There's Disruptors coming forward. I mean, Charge never got made. I do think a Charge Zealot warping in the back could be amazing. He's going to warp in slow Zealots and probably realize, oh wait, I never made Charge. The army on the front, though, that's just unstoppable. Reynor may have taken out some economy eventually, but Astrea's defense was so solid that Reynor had to throw away like 70 Banelings just to kill 1 or 2 Nexi and a couple of probes, and that's of course not a good trade. Zealot DT is still distracting Reynor in the main, and look at this, he's going to take out a full base of workers. He can zone in with Disruptors super easily here, and here we go. Roach Ravagerling Bane comes in. Astrea a little too slow to throw his balls out, but there we go. They do eventually let fly the balls of war. Cry Havoc, and I think Reynor's the one crying Imba right now. That is of course the StarCraft version. Zealots do come on in. Still no charge there, but hey, you might get a queen, a couple drones here. Not too bad. These are, of course, low-value units, the Zealots and the Dark Templar. And Definitely they need to listen to a little bit more, you know, Andrew Tate maybe. The Zealots become high status Zealots, you know, get themselves some fancy shoes and assert dominance over these stupid dumb Zerg. Anyways, random social media references aside, we do have a hatchery on the far left and the far right. Warp Prism's going to keep going with the DTs. I do think Astrea could just kill him now. That's 9 Archons! 9! Are you serious? Oh man, Banelings ain't getting through 9 Archons, guys. Ling Baneling is a really awesome set of units when you're up against like Zealots and High Templar and a handful of Stalkers. The moment they have 9 Archons with Disruptors behind them, this army looks pathetic. It just can't do anything against that. DT is running in the right side. It's too much tankiness, too much stuff that will not take damage from those Banelings or those Zerglings. The balls are flying. The Archons are still good. Great stutter step backwards. A couple of Archons fall, but that's for all the Banelings, all the Lings. There's still 5 Archons and a pack of Stalkers left over. And the creep's still great for Reynor, but Adrenal Glands ain't going to cut it, man. It's not going to cut it. Adrenal Glands, I mean, he needs Broodlords. Against this army, you suddenly get around a Broodlords out, or maybe like Ultra Viper, right? If you could Blinding Cloud this army and just jump on it with Ultra Ling. He doesn't have the money for either of those things. Reynor's hanging on like a champ, but he's past the point of any efficiency. I think at this point, you probably want almost pure Ravager in the main army, and you want to just be doing a defensive fight where you drop Biles, fall back, drop Biles, fall back. You're just trying to basically bait Astrea into mismicroing into your Biles while doing Bigling Bane backstabs. But the Banelings in the frontal fights are just getting less and less efficient. You're already down 10,000 resources in that regard. It's going to get worse. Ling run by, walk straight in, no safety cannons. Astrea, he might be chasing the army down, but he forgot to build safety cannons. Oh no. This is a bit of a mistake here for Astrea. He's going to lose quite a few probes. He recalls some units. His army's shoving forward on the front side. Disruptors. Oh, okay. Does get some Banelings there. Nice dodges by Reynor, but oh, big boomies, big boomy booms. Oh, the disruptors there, just absolute destruction here on Reynor's face. That hatchery does somehow survive. Astrea, of course, busy defending at home, gets a few Archons recalled in there to defend. He should easily go back in and kill that hatchery. Even a disruptor shot from here would finish the hatchery off, but of course, just playing cautiously. Small Baneling flank, trying to get in here for Reynor, maybe trying to sneak into the mineral line, stumbles into the Archons, and of course, some free kills for Astrea. Astrea's got that 5th base up on the far left side of the map now. And Lings are actually going to find it pretty early. Disruptor's not very good at defending that on their own. Warps himself in a Zealot there. Charge and Plasma Shield's almost finished. Plasma Shield's very important when you're playing lots of Archons up against heavy Zergling Roach armies. What do we got? DT on that right side. Going to take down a Queen. Come on, Reynor. Corrosive Violet. You know you want to. Corrosive Bile, show us your magic, Reynor. No, he's not willing. You can hold position, lock it in position, and then Corrosive Bile it, but you're very likely to kill your own units. He killed his own drone and his own creep tumor there, which tells you that Reynor is furiously spamming keys right now. The Zealots do come in. They drop on top of the Queen. There we go. Very nicely done. Astrea's just all over it. It's a cleanup crew at this point. And as I told you guys, Astrea's not the killer instinct guy. He likes to just wear his opponent down methodically and gain that advantage. DT's on the left, Zealots in the main, army roaming around, taking efficient fights. It feels like when you lose to Astrea, it actually kind of feels very bad because it feels like you're just behind for so long drowning and he's just picking away and chipping away. But I think Reynor's one of the players who has the mindset, he's like, okay, yeah, that's true. But also, unlike playing against Hero, who's just going to finish me when he has the lead, I do have chances to come back. I do have chances to pressure him and exert my mechanics and force mistakes. And it might not have worked out this game, but I've just got to keep trying. And there's no reason to give up in a game versus Astrea because Reynor's made crazy comebacks in the past. He's going to keep doing it. I told you guys he wants a mostly Ravager army, and that's exactly what he's doing now. So he can just drop Biles, fall back, drop Biles, fall back. Of course, it's too far gone. He's got no economy left, and he does have to tap out Astrea there with a very, very good game 1 victory over Reynor. All right, guys, a nice game 1 victory for Astrea. Looked pretty clean. Goes for a pretty early pylon. Pretty far forward as well. This is an interesting pylon. Does he put the ball off all the way out there? Okay, no, he's just going to go... I feel like his Cybercore is going to be very exposed with this wall off. We'll see how it goes. Either way, he does block the natural. Now, interestingly, because he follows that drone, he actually could have baited Reynor into sending another drone out. But of course, does go back to make sure that hatchery does not build. And Reynor having to take the front hatchery. This is another small map where actually glaive adept timings are so brutal against this third base because it's so easy to get across the map. And as Protoss, you can take a free third behind it. So this map And Stargazers, very painful. I'm sure that Reynor probably vetoed Stargazers and it said, this one I can play. At least it's only 1 gas, 6 minerals. It's not as powerful on that back base, right? But look at this probe, dude, being very annoying, trying to make it very hard for Reynor to actually mine from these bases. Reynor's counter-microed pretty well, but you can see one drone going walkabout there. A little bit of a... Yeah, and another one gets bounced off. So good harassment by Astrea. He says, you might have a lot more APM than me normally, but... Oh my god, 1,000 APM. Guys, you know what that means, right? Astrea being the try-hard virgin that he is. That's not him clicking. That means he has set up a rapid-fire button on his keyboard, and when he holds that down, it spams clicks at like 1,000 a second or 100 a second or whatever. So that's actually sick. A few people do this just for this scenario because you got to keep spamming click to like quickly start mining and then stop. And that's why, yeah, just holding that key down here allows him to win the micro, whereas Reynor's actually also hitting 1,000 APM. So I think Reynor must be doing the same thing. I don't think it's physically possible to click at 1,000 APM. I don't think it's physically possible. I think there's one Korean who I saw set this up once because you could see they were trying to block an expansion and you could see from the number of clicks going down that it was like impossibly fast. Like no human could click that fast. Is that legal? My Twitch chat's asking me. Absolutely. Yep. You can do that. It's something where it's pretty awkward to do, except in very weird scenarios in the very early game. That's like the only time where you'd really use it because it's obviously kind of silly holding a button down on your keyboard to spam clicks. It's the only time it's useful is in these very rare early game harassment scenarios. But cute to see both players fighting each other with the same little customized mechanic abuse. You can also go into your Windows registry, increase your repeat rate, lower your repeat delay. These are all legal moves. Guys, this is a 3-gate. Astrea's doing the Patty Mac. Oh, shizzle fizz. So Astrea's going to go 3-gate Adept Pressure into 2 Stargate Phoenix, probably. He might go Glaive Adept even, like delayed Glaives, and then 2 Stargate. Yeah, he's doing it. It's the Patty Mac build. Patty Mac, a legend of the NA ladder. A very good GM player there. Regular challenger in the NA region. Oh, these Adepts getting some good damage. Reynor's really taking a big beating here. Gets a Creep Tumor on the way out as well, does Astrea. So the idea here is, even though your Glaives is late, you can hit a much faster than normal Adept timing. I do feel like the gateways aren't as quick as I expected, but actually no, Warp Gate's just finished, so it times out pretty well. So he can warp in 3 Adepts and have a 5 Adept pressure here if he wants. And look at that, these Adepts, oh, great micro, just pulls back to safety, warps in a few more, he's going to go across with an Adept pressure, and this is really awkward because Reynor's like, oh, damn, I need to build Lings. Excuse me, just had to mute myself. Sneeze just came up. He wants to build Zerglings, does Reynor, but there's Adepts coming. Because he wants to build building drones, sorry, but he has to build Lings to defend. The problem is when Glaives kicks in, Lings are very bad against Glaive Adepts. If they get like a really good angle and surround, they can kind of do it if you have an overwhelming Ling number, but you really want Roaches more than anything. So look at the way Astrea is forcing him into massing Zerglings, and then he's making Resonating Glaives, and he's building up his Adept count. So he's going to hit with probably, he's got 8 Adepts now, 11 or 14 Adepts. So there'll be at least 3 more Adepts before he moves. That would be 11, or he could wait for 14, and the Roach Horn only now going down. Also, behind this, despite hitting a very scary attack, Astrea's got a 3rd base on the way. Now, the trick here with this build is you don't want to throw your Adepts away. A lot of players chuck away their first group of Adepts, and then bam, it's not that good. Guys, he's only got 9 as well. He is going 2 Stargate, so he's preparing for the Phoenix swap. Astrea, if he committed to a few more Adepts, he might have been able to force it, but as it is, dude, there's so many Lings, and he sees them, he should cancel. 100% cancel all of it. Yeah, and his job is to keep the Adepts alive, because if he loses these, Reynor can counterattack across the map, and he's not going to be able to defend his wall off, especially with this pylon so exposed. So that's a big problem. He cannot lose the Adepts. He's ahead, though, on the economy. He's up 5-6 workers. He's got a Stalker pushing back the Overlord. It did see the 3rd base, but Reynor still might lose it if he's not careful. Oh, he lets 2 Adepts finish. They get 2 drones, not bad, and mining time, and 3 drones. Oh, sexy moves there from Astrea. He could also leave 2 Adepts hidden over here to come in later when this counterattack hits him. For now, he's warping in a few more Adepts at home. He's also starting to make those Phoenix, but a little starved for money. And oh my god, he's got to be careful. Shade back, shade back, shade back, shade back. Oh my god, he's going to go out and fight it. Astrea, there's Bravery, and then that's a lot of Zerglings. You'd be real careful, mate. Real careful. Lair, Evo Chamber, and Gas is on the way. Astrea is far ahead on the economy. And there is no understanding of the fact that there's a Phoenix transition here for Reynor. Reynor doesn't know that. Now, if he knew the build, he would know that people very regularly on the NA ladder they do this follow-up. I call this the Paddy Mac build, but it very well may have been Astrea who invented it. It's kind of reminiscent of the Roddy build. Roddy used to do Glaive Adepts into Phoenix. That was 2-star Phoenix was very common for him. He'd also add DTs on top, so his Phoenix would snipe your Overseers, and the DTs would always kill your 4th hatchery. It was a super annoying build to play against. I hate it when, like, honestly, playing against Rotterdam doing that build, it's like the most washed up caster with archaic Warcraft 3 mechanics ever, in terms of like he doesn't use camera keys and stuff, and yet he beats pro gamers and qualifiers and stuff, and you're like, Jesus Christ, Roddy. His knowledge of that PvZ build is next level. It's so sick. But let's talk about the game that's here and now. The Overseer's coming in. Where are those Phoenix guys? They're already moving across. He's going to see the Phoenix popping out now, but they're already on their way across the map. Let's see what they can find. There's only 5 queens. There's only 5 queens right now. Oh my god, these Adepts will go down. But dude, he could just go for the queens. Just kill them. That's 6 Phoenix. He could definitely kill those queens if he wants to. But he's going to go for the drones instead. I do think he could have picked up the 2 high energy queens and started just killing them, and that would have been massive value. So I do think Astrea is maybe being a little cautious with this, but of course those Lings are keeping him busy at home. It's very hard to judge the situation if you're busy microing Adepts against Zerglings at home as well. He's going to pull back behind his wall. He should be able to easily defend with battery overcharge. He's got charge on the way as well. 5 gateways are up. He's going up to 8 gateways, so it's going to be potentially a mass Phoenix Zealot charge lot counter. I think Astrea could easily take a 4th base right now as well. He's getting massive damage done. He's killed 16 drones, 19 Zerglings. He's only lost 5 Adepts. That is insane efficiency. But it's also something you somewhat expect with Phoenix, because Phoenix fall off very hard. These are the Roaches of the Sky. They're a unit that are very good right now when the Zerg's not ready for it, and they're not going to contribute much in the direct fight. They're going to be good harassment units, good for air control. Kind of crappy when it comes to actually fighting in a big old push. Now Astrea's finally getting that 4th up. A little bit of a delay on that. Infestors coming out. They're going to be really good for locking these units in position. Fungal's also amazing for locking the Zealots in position so they can't charge on you properly. But man, dude, the drone kills 22. Definitely a big lead for Astrea. He's not probing right now though, which tells me he has to commit to this as a big attack timing. And honestly, I don't know if you can defend it. I saw Sue the other day in a similar scenario, and he really struggled to get up enough units because you're spending so much on spores and queens. You've gone and built 6 spores, you've gone and built 9 queens. None of these units are that good against a big arc on immortal timing. Has Astrea maybe showed his hand a little bit too early though, perhaps? He's not probing up right now. He's got some Adepts still on the defense. Phoenix are here as well. He could just pick up the queens and YOLO it, but man, watch for the fungal. Oh, he doesn't have energy yet. Still 10 energy away from getting that fungal up. And Astrea's transferred out to that 4th. He's got Adepts coming forward. They're going to do a counterattack on the top right, or a backstab, I should say, while he's attacking over here. If he can deny this 4th base, that would be a huge success. The Phoenix go in. Big fungal! Gets a lot of those Phoenix trapped. The Biles are going to land. Oh, big Biles landing on the Phoenix and the Zealots. But lots of Queens and Ravagers have been picked up. The Zealot Archon does so much damage here. The Phoenix count getting very wounded. The Zealot Archon's on top, but there is still a core of Ravagers in the rear with the gear, dropping those Biles all over the face. These Adepts were forgotten about. If they were in the mineral line, they could be doing so much damage right now. So many Zealots here coming in. The Phoenix could still kill units with their lifts. Adepts are going in on the right side as well. Bit of a nice F2 potentially there. Phoenix picking up a few of these Roaches. Very effective. If those Adepts shift-click drones, they could be game enders. Right now, drones are going down in that base. Astrea might be taking a 2-0 lead over Reynor. Reynor's just got a couple of Roaches. He's got the dregs trickling out. The Adepts, the Zealots, the Stalkers jumping on top. The Immortals finally brought across this map. Astrea forgot to bring his Immortals earlier in this push. I think they were trapped behind a unit in his wall off. I'll check the replay for that, but it doesn't matter. Even without bringing those Immortals, which would have been absolute game changers, he's still going to crush through. The Zealots and the Adepts are in here. The drones are going down. I mean, he did keep the 4th base alive, and the spores are moving forward, so great scrambling defense for Reynor, trying to get back to his feet. But Astrea's just got such weight of numbers on top of him. Astrea's probing behind. He's got +2 on the way. The Zealots are just in on top of everything. I mean, you can't micro everywhere at once, right? The Phoenix picking up the Roaches, as are the Immortals. And Astrea with a spectacular build order. 3-gate into Glaive Adepts, into 2-star Phoenix. As a Zerg player, this is one of the most frustrating builds to play against. Reynor gets a bit of that Protoss medicine. All right, guys. Let's get into it. It's going to be his last game in this series. Just kidding, guys. I don't actually know. But he needs to win this one, and the one after that, and the one after that to win this best of 5. So up against the ropes. We've seen him here before, and I'm telling you, man, this is where he gets determined. He was here in the semifinals against Hero Marine. Of course, this time he's against Astrea. The semifinals of the World Championship, at Katowice. Lost his first 2 games. I believe in his interview afterwards, he's like, we're like, yeah, man, we're pretty worried for you. And he's like, oh, yeah, I didn't actually warm up at all. Because, I just figured, I don't want to, tire myself out before the grand finals. And, yeah, I almost lost the semis. So, maybe not the best idea. It's the most Reynor response ever. Cocky bastard. And I wouldn't have him any other way. I say cocky bastard in the most respectful way possible. Because I really do believe we need more attitude and fun. And, Reynor is, he's got personality, attitude, and fun. And, I love seeing that attitude out of him because, it's something where some players, it takes them years and years in front of the camera to really warm up to it, get a bit more joking, a bit more, comfortable just being themselves on camera. And that's all we want, really, as fans of the game. We just want to see you being a human person, right? Because we see you as this all-controlling 400 APM micro-macro strategic god. We just want to see you be like a normal human person as fans, right? This kind of goes across all sporting fields. It's we just want to see that emotion. We want to kind of be able to relate to you and be like, yo, you're not just this weird alien god creature, but you're actually, you're someone I can relate to on a personal level. So I think Reynor, very easy to do that. And also because he is a bit cocky, I think there's a lot of nerds, a lot of Korean culture all about respect and this sort of stuff and really being very proper in your manner to each other. Because of that influence, there are a lot of nerds who are like, he's so arrogant! And even that is good. Even the fact that his arrogance grinds nerds' gears and makes fans kind of want to see him lose and get put in his place. I love it. It's the same reason people used to have that reaction to Dark all the time. It's, I think, toned down in recent years, especially since he stopped making fun of foreigners so much. He used to lay down really fierce smack talk. But now, Dark, kind of like Reynor, he's always got a smile on his face when he is talking smack. So I think people have warmed up to him a little bit. And I think with Reynor, most of them have realized it is all in good fun as well. You can see Cyril and Reynor, long-term rivals and friends, and it is just a non-stop one-direction tirade of Reynor telling Cyril why he's bad and how he's going to beat him, and Cyril just shaking his head and being like, I can't believe this kid. He's like, he never shuts up, god damn it. And Reynor's just there with a big fat smile on his face being like, yeah, but seriously, you kind of suck, man. It's just the best. Reynor's always bringing that bloody jovial attitude to the tournaments, and especially back at Katowice, having him back at that first LAN earlier this year after COVID. I've never seen someone so happy to be back in person where they can taunt their opponents and make fun of them in person once again. Ling's coming in. Probe Adept does get spotted going out, but I don't think Reynor was looking, so he doesn't actually realize Astrea's going to take this third down here. Which is a little bit less characteristic, but oh, that's blocked. Oh, and bad Adept placement, man. How many times do I have to talk about this, guys? Always put the Adept in the gap in the minerals, never out in the open, but big mistake for Astrea. This is so common with not just Astrea, it's every pro player. They just run their Adepts out front and they're like, cool, I'll defend the probe from 2 Lings. I gotta say, it's much better to have the probe sniped just barely because your Adept's in a safe position, but then have your Adept alive and bring another one out. I do think it's a crucial mistake in this scenario where he was going a Void Ray. He wanted to be 100% safe with this Void Ray. I think Astrea might be doing Creator's build. So I'm kind of going silent for a second. I think he's doing Creator's build. Okay, so Creator has a Phoenix build on this map, but I think he might do it with the Void Ray. So it's a Charge-Lot Archon Prism timing. I think that might be what Astrea is going for. I think Astrea here, up 2-0, wants to make it a 3-0, and he wants to do it in the simplest way possible. So the idea is the Void Ray shuts down scouting, keeps your third safe, but it's also going to clean up all the Overlords down here and this Watchtower. And that's going to allow a Prism to fly in the main and drop 2 Archons, warp in 10 Zealots. And at the same time, 2 Archons and 10 Zealots will run across the north of the map. Now, obviously, I'm forecasting really far into the future, but it's especially good on this map because you can get right into your opponent's main without being spotted. I don't guarantee that that's what it's going to be, but it is a very powerful timing where it goes from it looks like the Protoss is just playing a macro game to suddenly you see Zealot Archon running across the map and you go, oh, and then you look in your main and there's more Zealot Archon. Now, Creator tried this versus Cyril, and Cyril slapped it down because Cyril, being a psychopath, who's safer than every other player in the game, had like 7 queens in his main and killed the warp prism before the warp pin got off, shut it down before it got going. But that is still an option here. Notice there's charge on the way. He's going to go observer first. Okay, he's going gases on the 3rd, so it's not guaranteed that he's doing that by any means. This still could just be a normal charge lot Immortal Archon build. Keep your eyes. If he goes straight warp prism, it's a higher chance of that being the case. Very light pressure overall. And this does give Reynor freedom, and that's scary because Reynor, he's a guy, any excuse to be a greedy boy, and he'll take it. Archons are morphing. Oh my god, is it really that build? Warp prism should start up. He's got to start the warp prism right now if he wants to do this build. You got to hit probably about 8 minutes, I think, is normally when this would hit your opponent. No warp prism just yet. Oracle's still dancing around the front. Spire's on the way. That's really bad for Reynor. If he's trying to commit to mutas as this hits him, could be in big trubs. Pure Zealot Archon. The warp prism has started up and it's being chrono boosted. Oh, interesting. No, he's going for a 4th base. Never mind. He's not going to do it as an all-in. It's just a Zealot Archon pressure. He's going to take a 4th bind. It problem for him. Reynor using this room to get 80 worker economy. He's building Roach's Lings for safety, +2 melee on the way, and if he gets a big wave of mutas out, that'll be great. The Spire did not get spotted by this Oracle. Stasis traps ain't doing jack just yet. Reynor's reaction's too good. Archon Zealot clears up the creep. 4th base is on the way. Immortals +2 attack on the way. If Astrea had Reynor scared, I'd like his position. But I think Astrea feels confident and comfortable with this good start, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see Reynor take those gases. If he can shut down the Prism, or even just sneak 5 or 6 mutas into the mineral lines of Astrea, that could be big. And the early +2 and Baneling speed is going to offer amazing attack opportunities. Good micro for Astrea, trying to get these Adepts out of dodge. Oh, here we go. Zealot drop comes in. Does find a fully, or almost fully saturated 4th mineral line. Reynor's actually just built like another 10 workers as well. He's at 86 workers, so... Oh, Prism does take a few more hits than he probably wants to. Goes back in, though. The Roaches aren't quite being microed too well by Reynor. Does lose 2 drones. Prism gets out. Storm is on the way as well. Reynor, 6 Mutalisks. Okay, he's just going to go for 6. And I think he's going to try and sneak them across the map. He might just use them to defend. Looks like both players had to execute a little bit of a pause there for a technical issue, but they are now resumed. The Oracle with the Stasis Trap does get the drones. Okay, so Stasis Trap, good Stasis Trap freeze, but man, 90 worker economy, and he's massing mutas now. He's massing, he's still building mutas. Oh, but they do get spotted by the Revelation. I don't know if Astrea saw that. We're on Astrea's camera. He's building cannons in the 3rd, but no cannon in the main. Means he doesn't know. No Phoenix production, no cannon in the main. He doesn't know about the mutas. This is Astrea's camera. He sees the mutas in the north of the map right now. He sees them, but he hasn't noticed it. He sees it now, and he's like, oh, shit. Drops the cannon in the main base. He's going to have to warp in some units there right now. Let's go back to everyone's camera and watch these first 5 Mutalisks arrive. He's going to recall some stuff up there. I don't know what he's recalling right now. It's a Zealot Prism. Oh, my. Straight into the mutas. Looks like he just used his control group and he didn't consciously select which one. The Archons and the High Templar are not the best units for dealing with these mutas. The Storm does push him back for now, but some good damage here for Reynor. He's up to 9 probes killed in this game. The cannon will go down. Still no Stalker warp in the main. There we go. Excuse me, guys. Phoenix does go down as it pops. Reynor does do some nice damage. Astrea needs to get back to mining right now. And this gives Reynor all the room in the world. He's got the infestation finished. That hive will be on the way. But I don't even know if Astrea is going to be able to defend the Ravager Bane. They're going to be coming in like crazy. Oh my god, even more damage. The mutas find their way into the back door, and there's so many angles they can hit here. Very frustrating for Astrea to deal with. Still doesn't have those mineral lines properly covered by cannons. This whole area is open. And that cannon is not done in the main. Here comes the Ravager Lingbane. The Prism's going to fly out and get killed by Queens. Army of Lingbane Roach coming in the left side. Good stormy storms, but a couple of High Templar up front do go down. Some more nice storms do land. Good pullbacks by Reynor, though. Baits out a lot of storms without losing that many units. The Zealot Archon should be able to defend, but my god, if they hit the mineral line, that's a problem. Stalkers, quick shuffle, and they block the positioning. Now, the mutas do fly in, but of course, the cannon is well prepared and positioned. Astrea's not out of this yet. Hive's only just started. It's only Lingbane Ravager for at least a little while longer here. 2 cannon. Oh, I like that. 2 gateways going down, though. Very nicely done. More stasis traps are on the way. Astrea's just got to be really careful with his army split. If he can get more cannons and batteries up and a few Archons and Storms on each side, he'll be good. But he's got too much army on the right, not enough on the left. Good Storm on the Ravagers, but doesn't really stop any of the Banelings from getting in there. Battery Overcharge did do a lot there. Probes pull back, good defense overall. Mutas in the main are going to finally try and slide out of there, but they're no longer a real damaging squad. So all of these Stalkers should definitely be pulling back to the front here for Astrea. He's also got his +3 attack on the way, which is very nice. But will he be able to establish a 5th against a 95 drone Reynor? Reynor, we talked about Baneling Ravager not being that good on Waterfall. Here, I think he has enough economy to throw Banelings at him for days. He's a little low on the gas, is Reynor, but dude, he can just trade. He's got so much money. And as long as he doesn't let Astrea get a 5th, it could be okay. I mean, I say it could be okay. He doesn't really get the mark at all there. The units lost tab, 3,000 in favor of Astrea. But Reynor does have the 5th and the 6th base up. He's got more Ling Bane coming out. Do we see Adrenal +3 melee? Ultra Cavern? What will the tech be? There's Immortals in here. I think Broodlords has to be the play. You've already got Aspire. Great Aspire would be perfect here. But he's actually going Hydra, and Reynor's thinking about Lurkers. Okay, I mean, yeah, a lot of the Protoss aren't really transitioning air anymore. So Lurkers are kind of the primo late game anti-ground unit. He's just very slow to make the decision to go in that direction, and that's why it's going to be very delayed. So Reynor's stalling out. This is going to allow Astrea to max out rather easily. Archons are here. That High Templar will die to these Banelings, though. That's bad positioning on that. Slight just mispositioning with the details. Now, he does need a lot more High Templar for Storm. Reynor's been baiting those Storms really well. These Banelings actually pull back. Reynor saves most of them. Very well done. Archons should have been on the other side of them, I suppose. And here we go. Ling Bane coming in. Stormy Storm. Great Storm. Storm plus Archons say good night, sweet Ling Bane. Good trade here for Astrea. He's going to try and take the 5th on the bottom side. Needs to move his whole army out, though. He's going to push forwards through the creep, start trying to deny that. Double Lurker Dens on the way. Reynor, I can't believe he's letting Astrea back into this game, but he just did not do enough with what he had. There was no Baneling drops, no multi-prong, and he was way too slow onto his Hive Tech. And as a result, we've got an Astrea that's in a pretty good position, but doesn't have that much Storm energy, and that means he's got to wait. If he's waiting for all those High Templar to gather more Storms, that's going to give a lot of an avenue for Reynor to do damage to him. Reynor coming in here. The Archon Zealot gets surrounded. Where's the rest of the army? Astrea's going to counterattack and give up that 5th base. I think he'll be fine on the defense, but nice stasis trap there with the cannons. 5th base will fall. He's going to counter push. This might actually favor Astrea. Astrea's the one who's got a very scary force. He's got Storms kicking in, so he's going to have like 8, 9 Psy Storms available. He's trying to make some more Archons. He's got to make sure he doesn't mess up his control on that, though. Accidentally messes up a little bit. Gets rid of 1 or 2 of his Psy Storms. Mutas in the back not really doing anything. Those Stalkers are still nearby to defend. Big army here. Can the Banelings flank it? Because the Lurkers are not here in time. Actually, they are going to morph, but they don't have the upgrades just yet, so he's going to lose at least 2 hatcheries here. Astrea's getting some big economic damage. The Mutas on the back, if they kill the Templar Archives, that'd be hilarious. It's such low damage coming out of the Mutas that he's ignoring it, but if he ignores it for too long, it will stack up. Lurkers starting to do some damage. Stalkers cannot handle that. Stalkers are defending. He's forgotten about those 3 Stalkers. Whoa! Ling Bane Lurker surround! Storms annihilate Reynor's army. Reynor, he distracts him on the back, tries to catch him off guard, and he ends up actually getting punished. Reynor is going for the Lurker upgrades. He's getting to a better army, and most importantly, he's got this base. If he lost this base and this bottom right, he'd be dead. He's going to lose this hatchery one more time. Zealots are in the back door. Great micro by Astrea. Pulls him back, but then just pulls out of there. These Lurkers are actually very exposed. If the observers saw they were exposed, he might have been able to jump on it. He's got to regroup, does Astrea. He's going for Skytoss transition right now. I actually think he could double down on the ground. There's not that many Lurkers. There's no Vipers. There's no real support. He's got a good Immortal count out, which are amazing for smashing through Lurkers. But this creep gives so much vision, so much warning. So Astrea's going to pull back, clean that up. Big Zealot warping in the main. Actually cleans up a lot of the Zerglings in there. Oh my god, this is huge. He's getting big damage done in there. But the Lurkers are defending on the front. Oh no, Astrea, watch out. Watch out, Astrea. Watch out. Ah! Okay, he stumbles into that army, loses a lot of the units. The High Templar especially, very wounded Zealots do get cleaned up there as well. Look at how quick he is with his movement though. Dude, Reynor is so good at this. And he's even going to do a Lurker run by. Oh, is that a flank? That's like a Lurker flank even, right? Oh, but the Oracle spotted it. Oh, he says, no, you cheeky little bugger. I'm going to hunt those down. The Stalkers should be able to finish it. But wait, no, more Lurkers coming. I'd probably still be blinking on that personally because I'm a YOLO Lord, but Reynor does manage to defend. More Zealots in the main, though. This is a huge problem. Reynor was so far ahead in this game, but Astrea is outplaying him right now. And Astrea's got a new 5th base up on the top left, but oh, it's not long for this world. Unless he recalls instantly, it's going down. And he does not. Adrenal Gland +2 melee Zerglings are going to kill that base. Zealots in the main doing really good. Couple Queens out here. Where are the Lurkers? They're frantically trying to move back. A lot of the Lurkers are down there. He's trying to defend. He's up to 13 Lurkers, which is still not that good a count. Astrea's going after the Hive. He cancels the Zealot Warp in. I actually think maybe he could have committed to that and just kept trading. Mass Ling coming in on this base. Oh my god. Oh my god, he cancels the Zealot Warp in. Whoa, he not only kills Astrea's 5th, he also gets in there on that base. Okay, a big recall here for Astrea, but that does mean this army doesn't have a lot of support. Reynor, oh, I think he might try and dive on this with the Lurkers and get the High Templar. He's going to try and utilize his range. He's got to be careful. More Lings on the south. Oh my god, Reynor here in the messy, scrappy game. Gets another Nexus kill, and Astrea suddenly finds himself behind on the income. He had Reynor so far behind and in such a desperate spot, yet somehow he defends the bottom right rebuild of his economy. He's managed to deny all of Astrea's new bases. Astrea's income's drying up. Yes, Astrea's got carriers out, and there's nothing that shoots up, though. So if Astrea A moves, he wins the game. All Astrea needs to do is A move his carriers. Right now, there's 3 Queens, 3 Hydras with no Hydralisk upgrades, and 8 Spores on the entire map. If those carriers attack move, Reynor is dead. He's been too far behind for too long. He's building 2 Corruptors now. And that is a big problem. If he gets out like 10 Corruptors, they can deal with 3, 4, 5 carriers potentially. Another Nexus cancel on the top side. Oh man, Astrea. And now that he's lost the income, he's hesitating a little bit. Reynor, he does not want to go down 3-0. He is fighting for dear life right now. And that is a real disaster. If he can't stabilize, he's got some Spores coming up. He's got a few Corruptors and a Viper coming up. This is a pretty small army. I mean, if he had a bunch of Zealots, he could jump on these Lurkers and kill them, but he's going to try and take out this base. The Immortal's doing a good job. Zealots in the back as well. Man, Astrea's movement is so fantastic, but the Corruptors are finally going to shut that Prism down. Bottom right base does fall. Warp Prism goes down, which allows Reynor to bring everything back to the front. Big army on this left side, but the Zergling Lurker is more than enough for it. And right now, it feels like Reynor is somehow stabilized. If he can defend this base on the bottom, and if he can abduct like these carriers or something, watch out for the Storms, though. The Storms and the feedbacks could be big on those Vipers and Corruptors. Oh, big Side Storm lands, but oh, the army gets surrounded here, and Astrea's going to lose that 6th base once again. He has a 5th down here. Abduct's coming in. Oh, Astrea, he had the Watchtower. He should not have been surprised by this maneuver, and he does take some big damage there. But very good moves by Reynor. He also kills the Stalkers on that side as well. Astrea's out of bank. He's making Archons right now. He's going to try and do a big Archon carrier push. But you know what hard counters Archons? Lurkers. Archons have little T-Rex arms. That's right, guys. We got little T-Rex arms. They're little 3-range boys. Meanwhile, these goddamn 9-foot reach Lurkers, 10 range, more than 3 times the range of the Archons. It's like fighting someone who's legitimately one of the tallest, rangiest fighters ever with your little friggin' stumps. Probes getting picked off there. Oh, Astrea's going to break the Lurkers, though. Big Storm on the Corruptors. Big Storm on the Corruptors, but he's lost most of the carriers. The Corruptors have done their job. If they can kill that last carrier, that's basically all they needed to do. There is no greatest bias. They cannot turn into anti-ground units, but this base over here also getting killed by 2 Lurkers, man. Even just a DT warping in there would be huge, but he doesn't have a Dark Shrine. Couple Zealots might be able to do it. If he warps in a bunch of Zealots, he has an Observer down here, doesn't he? Where'd it go? I don't know where the Observer went. He had one there, but I think he's moved it away. He's trying to pull it back now. The Observer and the Zealots could deal with it, but on the front, he gets jumped on. Oh, big Biles landing on the Archons. The Corruptor's taking down the carrier. The Immortal Archon trying to pull back right now. Lurker on the bottom does get taken out. There are still some Zerglings there that could cause a ruckus. Reynor's income is down to not very much. He's got a bit of minerals there and a bit of minerals there, a little bit of minerals in his natural. But Astrea, what's he got? Nothing. Nothing in the natural. 4 mineral patches only. If he can get this base back up and mining, I guess he's relatively even in economy, but army is an issue because there's 11 Corruptors, 9 Lurkers out. All he's got is mostly Immortal Archon High Templar. It's not a bad ground army, but definitely not as advanced as you'd like. He's going to need to warp in some Stalkers to deal with the Corruptors as well, or he'll lose all of his production. He's got 16 gateways, does Astrea. So losing a couple gateways, not the end of the world, but definitely should warp in a Stalker to get rid of him. High Templar out in the open. The Lurkers looking for the burrow, and that I can't believe this creep survived so long in this game, man. Still no Stalker warping at home. He's very low on gas mining, part of Astrea's issue right now, as his gas in his natural has completely mined out. We've got a big Lurker run by coming in. Zealots on the right side. Army moving back. Immortal Archon Storm, still a very good scalable army if he can catch his opponent off guard, but Reynor's movement's been fantastic. The Corruptors, though, they're going to keep paying your production down. There we go. Does warp in a Stalker. You can see his shift clicked on these weak Corruptors. Takes out one of them. Could blink down and kill another. Oh, Archons, hello. Hello, buddy. licking his lips. Astrea does take down about 8 of those Corruptors, getting that countdown very low, but he doesn't have the money to rebuild carriers, so not much he can do about it for now. It at least removes the immediate PP threat, though. Lurkers running down the right side. Uh-oh. Zealot Cannon can at least force them to burrow, but uh-oh. Army there. Oh! Lurkers. Nice revelation with the Oracle, though. Very good detection there. If he jumps on these undefended Lurkers, that could be huge, though. Does he have detection over there, though? I don't think so. He's only got the cannon. He needs to jump on it with a flank. If you flank them, Lurkers, just like Siege Tanks, suck against flanks. They're not that good against them, guys. The Immortal's going to run in there and try to take out a Lurker, but the cannon goes down, which means no detection is left over. Corruptor Overseer. If he snipes the Overseer, the Observer, if that Observer gets sniped, okay, there is an Oracle with energy. It's got 1 revelation and another Observer. Never mind, Astrea's got plenty of detection, but does he have enough army? That is 21 Lurkers with +2 attack. Amazing upgrades for the Protoss, +3 attack, +2 shields, but is it enough? I'm not quite sure. Zealot Drop's going to go and hit that main. He wants to kill that hive. Ooh, Oracle does survive. Good micro by Astrea. Astrea's down 40 army supply. You got to keep in mind, a lot of this army supply is in Zerglings. The Prism almost goes down here. The hive will fall. Good storm there. Does take out a Lurker and a Ravager. But there's still a lot more where that's from. Oh, no! He does get some good storms off, but oh my god, it's only Zerglings that they really clear out, and that allows the Lurkers to get position. He's got to flank this army, but that's so many Lurkers. Big boy Reynor coming in with a swift old Lurker thwump. Those Lurkers going to eventually defend the Zealots at home as well, though. Astrea wisely runs away from them, goes after the drones that are on the other side. He's going to try and cut off the reinforce. Astrea thinking about base trading here, realizing, hey, let's not let them get up any more units to join up with those Lurkers. Unsupported Lurkers can be picked apart. Baneling Nest will go down here as well. The Zealot's going to keep running around these bases, trying to find openings. The Prism is still alive in the far right side. Zealots pulling back, trying to join up with the main army. The Lurkers are in a great position, though. Get out of there, Astrea. Run, Astrea. Do not go into that. Good pullback by Astrea. Corruptors, though. The PP squad forcing Stalker Warp into the last unit Astrea wants to be building right now, and wasting 150 gas on or 200 gas on is Stalkers. Great moves there by Reynor. Couple Zealots for Astrea there, but oh, there's still plenty of Lurkers there, stumbling into it. I think he thought that was not that many Lurkers because he saw Lurkers move to the right, but that's only 2. Up to 20 Lurkers right now is Reynor. Reynor's got this base mining, and it's way oversaturated, but it is a very important base because it's pretty fresh. Astrea's taking the bottom right, though. Oh, but he is losing a lot of units. He's got to clear this bloody creep. It's given way too much map vision for Reynor. Finally, that creep that's been sticking out in the middle, a protruding head of creep, is removed. The Stalkers are going to be caught out. They blink over there. They blink. Oh, they try to run away now, having used up their blink. This base will go down. It's a bit of a base trade of those very important expansions. Zealot warps in to kill the infestation pit. There is no hive, so Vipers cannot be built. Neither can Great Aspire in this scenario. Astrea knows he's limited his opponent's tech, but no pylon in the bottom right. Immortal rallying out should be able to beat those 2 Hydras, but with the rally of units, it might be an issue. Nice recall. Can he defend? If he defends this base, Astrea is good because he's got mining, and Reynor's almost completely dry. You can see he's up on the mining, but look at the spready. Look at that spready from Reynor. The probes are going to get out of there because he realizes, crap, I can't fight into that. Man, some juicy Psy Storms, but the Observers, don't throw your Observers into the Psy Storm. My god, so many Lurkers. They're from behind as well. Oh, everywhere. Coming in from all angles at once, and Reynor punches his bloody way out of the grave. This is why we love casting Reynor games, because that was a disgusting comeback. He was way ahead. He gets behind, gets way behind, but he finds a way to fight back. Bloody clutch comeback there in the end from Reynor. Well, you wouldn't be Reynor if you didn't make it exciting. Kaisi Gaming's Reynor down here in the bottom right. Such an exciting guy to watch. I mean, three world championships in a row, and always crazy, dicey, close games on the way there, right? I almost feel like he lives for the thrill of it just being a brawl sometimes. His opponent up here in the top left, I actually think he showed impeccable handling of a lot of chaos in that last game. And the Astrea, I was saying, you know, he lacks the killer instinct and that sort of stuff. I actually think he played that so well in the chaos. The Zealot Prism in the main did so much work, and he never lost that Prism until the Corruptors were out, where there's no counterplay for him. It was amazing. So I actually really think Astrea's multitasking was amazing in that game. And against a guy like Reynor, who's very cheeky, who just tries to catch you off guard and jump on top of your High Templar and kill them, and jump on top with Mass Ling and Lurker. Like, there was many times, and Astrea almost always got his storms off. The best Protoss players in the world regularly aren't looking for a moment, bam, all the High Templar are dead, you lose the game. Didn't really happen. Did he miss the opportunity with the carriers? Yes. Did him getting his bases denied really kind of kick him in the butt? Yeah. Him getting his 5th denied, then trying to take it on the other side, then getting that denied, then trying to take it on the other side, getting it denied. That did really hurt him and slow him down in that game. So crucial base denials for Reynor, but in this case, it is a Nexus first. And this is almost like, the thing is, if he sees himself getting 12 pulled with this probe, he could full wall off and actually still be okay, because this is such a narrow ramp. Now, this is one of Astrea's best build orders in my mind that he was doing in the past. Basically, you get a Cybercore, you chrono a couple of Adepts across the map here. Gateway takes longer to build than a Cybercore, 36 seconds versus 46. That's why he builds the Gateway 10 or 15 seconds faster. And the thing is, look how late the second pylon is. You might be like, oh, that's kind of bad. No. He doesn't need a second pylon. The only reason he's building it is so he can hide the tech in the main base. Because this Nexus gives you so much supply. It's basically 2 pylons. It gives you 15 supply. And he can chrono probes like mad while still having a pretty crisp double Adept pressure. And what we often see from Astrea is he then just makes like sentries, stalkers and stuff, and he just takes a quick third and is way ahead of the Zerg for the first 5-6 minutes economically. Now, on the other side, the Zerg player is not going to have to deal with early pressure that's nearly as hard. Now, already the fact that Astrea built 4 lings, Reynor built 4 lings, I find a bit surprising, because if he saw that it was Nexus first, and if I were him, I would have only built 2, just enough to push the probe back, but maybe he was worried it would pylon block the 3rd? Nah, I still think he should only have built 2 and been a bit greedier, because you really need to be pushing your greed in this scenario. That being said, Ling speed's on the way, double Adept coming across the map, Stalker, Sentry on the way behind this. Now you might be wondering, where is the tech? The tech is always super late with this build, always super late. That's kind of the idea, is it's just, I have a good gateway unit count because I keep building gateway units, and I keep pressuring with them where possible, and I have an amazing economy. Already up 6 workers is Astrea, and he's forced a good 6 lings here. 2 more are in production. So 8 lings, probably the bare minimum you want to build here as the Zerg. Astrea trying to be greedy. He's also trying to go to 4 queens. So he's going to have 2 queens up front and then other queens as well. Stalker Sentry come out. They do chase back the Overlord. Astrea might be using Hallucination to scout. Oh, look at that. 3 minutes 30, 3rd base. It's so early. He's already up 6 workers, and his 3rd starts before the Zerg's 3rd finishes. And normally, of course, it's like a minute after that thing finishes. Unless you're going Stargate, 2 minutes after is pretty regular. Zergling's coming in. The Adepts are there. Does he go for the Hallucination? He does. He doesn't use it to kill the Overlord on the pillar. The Overlord does hide off to the left. And these Adepts coming out, pushing back Reynor's vision. Twilight Council goes down now behind it. So keep in mind, there's no early tech. The Protoss kind of is almost playing like a Zerg, where it's like kind of crappy units, but just a really big economy growing behind it. So it's a very different flow to a normal PvZ. The Zerg sometimes even ends up with the tech advantage, because like if you get Ravagers and Roaches, you've actually got higher tech than the Adepts. Queens come forward, 3 queens up front. He's already on 6 queens with the 7th one on the way. So 7 queens, I mean, they're a pretty decent, well-rounded unit. They are kind of expensive, immobile as well, though. Oh, these Adepts not really going to get their value. Only getting, I think, 2 drones there. 3 drones in total dying this game. So, losing 2 Adepts, don't know if that's quite worth it. But 4 Adepts are still hanging out. He's going to try and hide 2 of these Adepts. So he checks the Watchtower, and then he's going to try and hide these. Reynor might get a glimpse of it, though, if he takes the Watchtower. But nope, those Adepts have hidden themselves very well. They've got to be careful not to let the Overlord see them, though. And behind it, Blink is on the way, as well as a Dark Shrine. Okay, the Dark Shrine, in case there's a huge, like, you know, Roach Ravager Ling attack, the DTs can save your day. They also can allow you to make Archons without spending as much gas. Oh, good micro by Reynor. He's going to grab 2 probes here. He's going to grab number 3 if he micros this as well. But good micro by Astrea, pulls his probes back. Adepts come out. They get surrounded. But I think the Stalker should be able to win this trade. And here we go. The Adepts shaded in at the same time. Looks like they killed 2 more drones. So 5 drones in total have fallen versus 3 probes. Pretty even game all around. I think Reynor's navigated his way through this kind of oddball position very, very well. He's going up to his 4 gases, now 6 gases. His lair's very well timed. If there's ever a game to build a Spire, this is it, Reynor. Let's go to Reynor's camera for a minute and just kind of see what he's focused on. Creep spread, Evo chamber. He's got an Overseer he's making to scout. Oh, Stalkers are already moving across. Blink's not even finished, but man, it's just Astrea, right? He just like wants to pile on the pressure. Probably wants to take a 4th base behind this. 3 more gases are in the production tab. Infestation Pit on the way here for Reynor. 69 drones. He's building more roaches and lings. Let's go back to everyone's camera. Clearing the creep here is Astrea, pushing even well before Blink finishes, and that's the beauty of Astrea and his weird timings, his builds, his special tactics. Blink is now done. Good Blink back. The Zerglings go down. He gets a roach, a queen. Another queen could fall here. Oh man, this is really good. If Astrea can get a bit more damage, this would be great. But as the lings come out, probably needs to back off soon. He's warping in more stalkers right now. There's only a few roaches, lings, and queens. He's going to be able to push things back. He's got the observer. The DT is going to run in to maybe the natural or the third, but the spore crawler is up. Gets another overlord creep tumor. Starting to take down these queens very nicely. The roaches as well are armored units, remember, so they take bonus damage from all this. The DT is about to run in, pulling back. Very nice move there. And the DT in the natural is going to get maybe only 1 or 2 drones. 1, 2, and yeah, nice surround. Zerglings do respond very quickly. Reynor holding on, but remember, there's no 4th base for Astrea. That normal progression isn't there. His Forge, second Robo Bay. He's realizing, I'm not going to get the kill here. I need to transition. This was a 5-gate pressure. There's a cute little in-between pressure with a surprising number of units, but I don't have the production to go all in. I can't even spend my money, so he needs to take that 4th base, probably on the north side. He's going to actually go to 8 gateways as well. The Stalkers are still looking for positive trades over here. Oh, Zealots are very good up against those Zerglings. He dodges the Biles as well. I like the way the Zealots are there to engage the Zerglings if they try to surround off creep. But he doesn't. He just uses the mobile Stalkers to move in and really keep him pinned. But this time around, Lurkers. Reynor realized how good the Lurkers are in that last game, and he is beelining directly towards the Hive and the Lurker Den. The Hydra Den is finished. He's got to go for that Lurker Den now, and indeed he does. He places it down ASAP in the main base. This is a way better progression for Reynor. He might not have the big juicy economy he'd like to have at this stage, but he knows that Astrea doesn't either. His Zerglings have seen that the 4th base has only now been placed. Kills the probe there with that Zergling. Double Disruptor production has started though, so it's going to be a different dynamic. Those Disruptors are going to be really good at killing Roaches, Hydras, Lurkers. On the other hand, if Reynor can get out a couple of Vipers, then he can abduct those Disruptors. And the abduct not only pulls the Disruptor into where you can kill it, it also cancels its shot if it's already fired it. So it's actually crazy how good Abduct is at dealing with things like Disruptors. Same with Liberators. It actually cancels their siege up. They have to re-siege. So it's very much a hard counter, but Reynor doesn't know what he's up against. He doesn't know about the Disruptors yet. So it's not a sure thing that he builds Vipers here. If he just has Roach, Hydra, Lurker, then the Disruptors could be game changers. Well, now he sees the Robo Bay, so now he knows, Reynor, he's got that info. I'd like to see 2 or 3 Vipers power up immediately. He's also a bit slow on his Lurker upgrades. I like the Contaminate on the Forge, very nice, but there we go, 2 Vipers queue up for Reynor. That's a perfect scout. The fact that he keeps checking what his opponent's up to and checking the status of where he is in the game, very nice execution. Force fields, though, very clutch for Astrea. Traps about 5-6 roaches. Zealot drop in the main, getting ready. Plenty of roaches up there to defend. Lurkers are on the way, but he's still forgotten his Lurker upgrades. We've cast 10-15 minutes of ZvT where Reynor forgets his Lurker upgrades completely. He is in a very chaotic situation. He's trying to adapt on the fly, but he's forgotten some of his fundamentals here. Now, this is an ambitious play by Astrea, but he saw that there was so many roaches in the main, and he says, yeah, I can do this. Like, you don't actually have enough units here right now. The Lurkers, can they save the day? I mean, I think Astrea can push. I don't think Astrea needs to pull back. But wait, he doesn't have any detection. Oh, that's why, no detection. This is such a small set of units right now for Reynor, and yet it holds on. Astrea could potentially move down here and keep doing it. The Vipers are out. You give him another minute, Reynor's going to be in a superior position. But right now, Astrea has a killer army. He's not using it, though. Big Zealot warping in the main will come in, unloads 4 Zealots, warps in 8 or 9 more. It will overwhelm those roaches, but there's a Spine Crawler in the back. There are units popping out, Disruptors and Stalkers there, getting overrun by the Zergling Lurker. Yeah, I mean, not completely overrun, but at least pushed back. Zerglings going down, the Ravagers and the Hydras coming back as well. Zealots are causing a real ruckus up in this main. The Prism is still alive off to that right side. If he can kill some drones, that'd be big, but this Spine Crawler is going to distract those Zealots. I like this hold position Zealot, though. That Zealot there damaging a lot of them. Doesn't quite get many kills, though. And it is finally defended. Zealots on the right side as well. Do at least deny worker mining for a little bit. But at the end of the day, not a super positive trade. Loses about 4 Zealots for a drone and mining time and a Hydralisk. Stalker Disruptor still active on the left side. He's got to be real wary of the Vipers, though. 2 more Vipers building. He lost 1 of them, so 1 of them got sniped by the Stalkers. Templar Archives is huge, though. If he can swap over into Psystorm and High Templar with feedback, he can feedback the Vipers, Psystorm the Lings, and the heavy Zerglings and the Hydras are very weak to Storms. Storms not so good versus Roaches and Lurkers, but they're still helpful in that scenario. And most importantly, feedback for the Vipers allows your disruptors to do what they do best. Blow shit up. Stalker Disruptor going up on the north. Storm there. Adaptive Talon's on the way. Oh, great blink forward. He gets up. Oh, yes. One queen. Watch out. Watch out for the balls. Ooh, but the balls are kind of exposed. Nice abducts. Oh, big balls do land, though. I think this is pretty effective. Oh, gets one of his own Stalkers, but kills like 10 Zerglings, so I think that's totally fine. Astrea there kind of copping that one on the chin. He's got Storm, Archons, more Disruptors on the way, and Astrea's finally got to something which is a bit more comfortable. 80 probes and a 5th base with lots of cannon battery on the way. This is a situation where Astrea is more confident, but, oh man, Reynor's been so good at denying 5th bases. Astrea, he's kind of distracted down there. He's got to defend this base. You can't let this get overrun, not like that last game. And I think he's going to fall back to defend, which makes sense. But Reynor, he's going to jump on the balls. Astrea leaves him hanging out there. And that is a very good move. Gets 3 roaches with 1 disruptor shot. But this is big. Storm's not quite ready. It kicks in now, but lurkers are already in position. Reynor with an opportunistic dive. The moment those lings pulled Astrea home, he dives on it. Astrea doesn't have the numbers. He's just getting pushed. This one opportune moment. I can't believe how decisive Reynor is. He's like, nah, shove it. And he gets on in there. The double lurker upgrades, of course, are finished, as well as the +2. Even with this battery overcharged, Zealot's trying to hold the line. Army with the Storm coming in from that right side, but the Ling reinforce. So, gosh darn tanky. The Prism in the back as Zealot comes in. There's a spine there. Man, the Immortal Archon Stalker just can't break out. The lurkers are too good. Nice little attempt to recall, but only saves 1 Immortal, 1 Archon. The Prism goes down to the Hydralisks in the main at the same time. And the Roach, Lurker, Ling, Hydra pushing on in, breaching Astrea's 3rd base. Oh, wow. Well played by Reynor. If only Astrea had detection when he was pushing into that 4th base earlier. If he had an Observer alive there, I think he could have won this game. But, Reynor gets through that scary period, gets abducts, gets Blinding Clouds, gets Lurkers and Lurker upgrades out, and is able to push through. GG, well played. Reynor's going to force a game 5. All right, guys. Well, we're tied up now. It's 2 maps apiece. Astrea in the top right of Inside Out, Reynor in the bottom left. He's got to be feeling good. He's wriggled his way out of trouble 2 maps in a row. Every single map in this series has been kind of close, but I feel like Astrea's been so close to cutting off Reynor's head in a few scenarios. Now, interestingly, sends a probe across and sends a probe down to go 14 pylon. Normally, for a while, the meta was to go, if you wanted to send the probe early to make sure you block, you would just go 13 pylon. Send the probe down, build the pylon 1 supply earlier, then build a probe. And we thought that was more efficient, but this seems to be more and more normal these days, even though these maps are pretty short, and I don't think you need to send the probe out this early. So it's kind of an interesting adjustment players have made. I actually think on this map you can 14 pylon and still get there in time to block a 16 hatch. I'm almost certain on this map, Moondance and Waterfall, that's the case. People could correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I'm actually like, interesting. So I gotta ask Astrea. Mental note, people in Twitch chat can remind me to message Astrea after this cast and just kind of question him about it. Hey, is it just because I just do this on every map so I don't have to think about the rush distance just to make sure I don't forget to send it across on time? Is this better than 13 pylon? Like what should we do? Let's see that APM. Spammy, spam, 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 spam. Little spam battle here. See who can mine those minerals. It's a little bit harder to micro as the Zerg because you're not, like when you've got 2 drones on top of each other, it's hard to select the right one until he starts running away. Then you can click him and tell him to go back, but it's hard to do it. Whereas obviously Astrea doesn't have any other probes stacked on top. It's going to be going for a nice wall off. Pretty solid one. Oh my God, that APM for both sides. What the hell? Oh, this is hilarious, man. So if you guys, yep. As I said, if you guys want to do that setting, you can go into, I think it's called what, unit selection or unit something is the sub menu in your thing, and it should be called smart commands. And if you add an alternate for smart commands, the default will be right click, right? Because it's just right click is smart commands, right? And you just add an alternate button on your keyboard and you just hold that button down. So you hold down like spacebar and it just basically spams clicks without you actually clicking your mouse, which is kind of hilarious. That's what both players were doing there. It is going to be a Twilight Council, early chronoed Adept into a Stalker. Doesn't want to let that Overlord have full scouting. Double chrono. Okay, he's deciding, hey, this Overlord doesn't have that much space to hide here. Let's force it into the back nice and early. And Reynor, oh, he's thinking it's going to be double adept. So he thinks it's double adept. So he's going to try and wait for the second adept to leave, then run in with fallings. I saw Dark absolutely dismantle Reynor with this exact same maneuver actually recently. That's so funny. He might have learnt it from this game watching Reynor play. We saw him dismantle Reynor's Protoss in one game with that falling run by. Now he thinks, oh yeah, the adepts have probably left or whatever, but it's like, no, Stalker's in position. And she could even try to chase down the adepts, but Ling Speed's almost ready. And there's 10 Lings out, so even this adept on the map could get surrounded here. So very early Ling Speed. Astrea, careful, bud. Nice move by Reynor here. Very nice move. And he's going to get the adept for just one Zergling. Yeah, nice move. Builds a shield battery in the wall off. Because otherwise, if you wall off behind that Stalker, it's your only ranged unit. It will die before a shield battery finishes, and then you've got nothing behind your wall off. Does kind of slow down the build order quite a bit. He's on 3 gateways, but no... Okay, he does have a warp prism as well on the way. Reynor, though, he's got control of the map now with this, so he's able to drone up, recover the fact that he, obviously building all these Lings puts him behind on the workers, but he's going to catch up now and probably drop a Roach Warren right now. It's past 4 minutes. 4:10 is usually the latest you want to go for a Roach Warren. He's going to 6 queens. He's building a Spore Crawler. Oh my god, does he think this is an Oracle? He sees the Warp Prism now and immediately drops a Roach Warren. This is a very late Roach Warren, 4 minutes 11. These 2 adepts going to clear up. And there we go. I like the movement on these adepts. Very nice. Clears up the vision to make it look like he might be going for a third and you know, free that up for later. Third gas is on the way. 40 probes. He's cutting there. And there's spores on the way. Lair, Roach Warren, a few more drones. He's already got 14 Zerglings, 5 queens, 6th one coming out. Oh, okay. Losing two Lings there for free. Not too good for him. Those adepts coming forward. Third Nexus does start behind this and a pylon at it. Adepts don't really want to fight those queens. Just 7 adepts that aren't going to be able to do too much. Warps in 3 more. 10 adepts, I think, is where you can 3-shot queens, I want to say. I don't know the exact number of adept shots to kill a queen. Do the math real quick, guys. That's going to be 10 damage minus 1 armor. 9 damage a shot. 175 divided by 9. Twitch chat, get on it. Jamie, look that one up. Adept drop on the right side. Adept's trying to shade in on the left as well. Ooh. Okay, we've got a 4th gas coming in as well. Cancelled his 3rd gas and then rebuilt it. Interesting. Bit of indecision maybe here from Astrea with this build order, or just some very quick decision making to adjust. Lair is now finished, so it's a pretty quick Lair. Astrea's coming in. These 2 adepts are going to grab 1 worker. Yeah, good cancel on the shade, but plenty of Zerglings in the main. Ain't going to get anything done there. Oh, or is he? Oh, it doesn't quite get the extra drones. Still 2 drones. Oh, and actually the Lings weren't on top of him, so he grabs 2 more workers. Cheeky bugger. Very well done. Observer accidentally flies into Spore Crawler range, sets up on Pervert mode, but he could actually just move a Spore Crawler over. He's going to use an Overseer. Ooh, Adepts do kill 1 more drone. 3rd base is on the way. We've got Immortals building right now. Is he going to do the 2 Immortal Prism Adept attack? I don't think so. He's not warping in Adepts behind this, so he's not going to go the downtown Zowntown build. The downtown Zowntown, guys, is where you keep warping in Adepts at home while you're doing this, and then you bring 2 Immortals in the Warp Prism, and you like shade up here with your Adepts while unloading 2 Immortals, and you just basically try to kill them. It's a really weird build because it looks like a macro build and there's a surprising number of Adepts, but the downtown Zowntown can hit like a brick sometimes. Overseer here hasn't actually found the Observer yet. Reynor, it's here! There we go. Moves over, gets rid of that Observer, drops a Spire behind his mineral line. Ooh, here we go. So it kind of looks like that because you got the Adept Immortal, but I don't think he warps in any more Adepts here. It wouldn't really make sense because Overseer's in his main, sees the Robo Bay. I mean, this is not an all-in. It's going to force a few Roaches. It actually could run in and do some damage. Reynor's on 69 workers. He's building a Spy. He doesn't really have many actual fighting things right now, and Reynor's known for being very greedy. Adepts shade into the left side, but they're not being targeted right now. He's running in the front. Those Adepts on the left. Oh, he's only going to get like 1 or 2 drones there. Lings run in and manage to take down, I guess that was probably a battery or something like that. Yeah, it looks like a shield battery got taken down. The Adepts are going to cancel their shade except for 2 of them. Oh, great Spore trick there to preempt getting focused down. And the Adepts will take out a few workers. Not a bad move there. Brings it up to 8 workers total. He's only lost 6 Adepts, so units lost tab is exactly even at 1,093 resources each. What are the chances? Don't see that every day, do you? Stalkers and Disruptors coming on out now. Expecting a very quick hive from Reynor. Oh, Astrea didn't see the Spire. Oh, he's expecting the same fast Lurker Hive play. He's going Disruptors and Colossus tech. Oh, none of this is good versus Mutt-Mutts. Oh, Astrea does come forward, gets 2 Roaches there. Does use those Immortals pretty nicely, but dude, these Mutas are going to be a surprise, and Reynor could actually double down, go 15 Mutas, and then show them all as one big surprise. He doesn't need to force his way in. I mean, Stalkers can defend Mutalisks, but they're far from ideal. Phoenix wreck Mutas. In a clash, Archons and Storm wreck Mutas, but the problem is, of course, the mobility means that'll never happen. Overseer is just camping in his main base. Should not be letting your opponent have that much vision. Astrea, big mistake for him to not have just warped in a Stalker to deal with it. Finally, he seems to notice it. I think it's because if you look at it from his camera, the red dot, when it was right above his building, is actually kind of obscured by the green of his gateway. So you could actually barely see it. It was like a tiny little red pixel sticking out the left side. Oh, 2 Immortals and a Prism snipe by the first Mutas. 7 Mutas coming across. He's swapping into Ravagerling Bane behind it. Astrea's going to go for a shove, saying, oh, okay, you're going Mutas, I can shove. But there's a ton of Roaches. Roach speed's about to kick in at the perfect timing. Mutas are on the 4th. Not really going for the money in the main, but I guess he knows there's Stalkers there. And this is an overextension for Astrea. He's going to lose this entire army, and it's the Mutas. They force the Protoss to be desperate when they're a surprise like this, and Astrea ends up pushing forwards and getting absolutely hammered. Stalker's going to try and deal with the Mutas, but the Mutas well microed by Reynor. Grab 2 probes, move away. Disruptor does go down. Great blink to the high ground to at least save some of these Stalkers, though. Cannon in the main is doing what it can. Reynor's economy might not look that huge, but he's got a massive army on the map, and these Mutas are still a very annoying force to deal with. So there we go, guys. Down to 6 Mutalisks. That's still enough to one-shot a probe. It takes 5 Mutas to one-shot a probe. So as long as he's got 5 Mutas alive, it's a deadly squad that can really create some urgency from the Protoss. 4th base is, of course, finished on that right side, but still trying to hang on with Stalkers, and there's a lot of Ling Roach coming in here. Stalkers are in the main dealing with the Mutas, which means they're not on the low ground. Biles and Roaches on the left side. Roachling on the right, trying to create some chaos is Reynor. He's up 10 workers. Stalkers forced to the low ground. The Stalkers come in and they sandwich these Roaches. They should save the base, but will they be able to save the left side at the same time? Mutas in the main do get deflected by Stalkers. He's going to defend really well. Astrea hangs on, keeps his 4th alive, shuts the Mutas out of his main. There's only 3 of them left. Almost gets another one. He can now probe up the 4th. He could try to heal it with a battery. I mean, there's a decent chance it just dies to a couple of Zerglings sneezing on it, so he's got to keep his army nearby. The fact that he hung on that well, though, is very impressive. It's now basically just Ravagerling Bane versus Mass Stalker Disruptor. The Mutas think about coming in. One of them does go down. With a cannon in the main, you don't really need any more than that. So he's definitely going to be healing this with a battery overcharge, I think, as soon as that battery's finished. Baneling's coming in. Baneling speed is now finished. I was about to say he forgot it, but no, it finished right then. Ling Bane Ravager coming in. Ling's on the right side. He's going to battery overcharge that. Very nice battery overcharge. Stalkers and Cannons going to be able to block that one. Stalkers on the left side going to be able to block that one. Astrea's defending like a champ right now. Wait, there's more. Banelings! The balls don't fly in time. He does kill a bunch of his own Stalkers. Doesn't stop all the Banelings. Great probe, spready. And that probe spready was absolutely fantastical. It was wondrous. It was wonderful for all the Protoss fans out there. I would have killed all my own units and all my own probes. Astrea somehow survives with only a total of 9 probes losses, despite surprise Mutas getting in the main. Banelings rolling in en masse. He's up 2,000 resources in the units lost. He's adding Archons. He's got a Colossus out with the Viagra upgrade. That's right, 9 range on that Big Daddy Longlegs. He's going to be an eviscerator of Zerglings. Mass Ravager Bane on the way. Reynor is doing what Reynor does, and that is doubling down in the mid-game and saying, me make smash you. Me make smash you with big units now. He's going to start a hive behind it, but no Hydroden on the way. This, reminiscent of Data C, is another map where Reynor has no clear path, unless he wants to play Broodlords this time, which I think is perfectly fine as a decision, but he needs to basically make that decision if that is the case. He's got a giant, scary Ravager Bane army, but there is so much gas in this. Oh, look at this. Astrea's waiting for the rocks to go down. Surprise balls. Watch out, Reynor. Oh! But he dodges. The splits are good. The reaction time. It was such a good trick because Astrea knew he didn't have high ground vision, but he doesn't actually land the hit. Amazing reaction by Reynor. That could have been the game-winning maneuver and such a clever, patient maneuver. He didn't show the Stalkers. He didn't drag his camera there. He throws the balls. Maybe he could have spread them a little bit better, but Reynor with an amazing spread at the last second narrowly avoids disaster. Archons are reinforcing this army. He's also got Psystorm, guys. Psystorm kicks in. Psystorm plus a Colossus. No Disruptors anymore, but the Psystorm, Stalker, Archon, Colossus, still a very scary army. A Ravager goes down. Banelings, though. Well, the Zealots should be able to defend this on their own. Storms come in! Army goes in on the right side. Good positioning and micro by Astrea. I feel the Zealots do go down. He's got a Warp Prism on the left side as well. I think Astrea's favored in this situation. Remember, we talked about the Hive. Where's the... He starts the Hydra Den! Just like Data C! Reynor, tech-wise, is playing some sloppy StarCraft. He's so used to killing his opponents by now, he doesn't even have a plan. He's literally making it up as he goes, and that's putting him in a bad spot. But this round of Banelings will find the mineral line. He's going to actually even take out the cannons. Doesn't go for the worker line just yet, but he's going to... Okay, yep, I mean, he definitely should be doing damage. Astrea didn't warp in any units back there. He's warping in the main instead. The Banelings are going to come in. A beautiful probe spread. He means he doesn't take as bad a losses as he could. Up to 23 probes dead, so about 15 went down. But the Zealots in the main, are they going to do well? +2 melee versus +2 ground weapons for the Zealots. The army's pushing forward. There is still 9 Ravagers, but only 23 Banelings left. Reynor's being kind of cost inefficient, but there's only 2 Psystorms left. Those 2 Psystorms are going to need to hit the money. Hits the Banelings, hits more Banelings and Ravagers. There's still a good army in there, but the High Templar, they're not going to have any juice. It's just Stalkers, Archons, Colossus. Attacking on creep versus Ravager Bane is always frightening. Zealots on the low ground coming in. He doesn't have any charge. He started upgrading charge now. 4 more probes are on the way for Astrea. He's taking a 5th base on the left side as well. There is a new Mutalisk here, or maybe it was a returning Mutalisk from earlier that will shut down the Prism in the main. The advantage of having a Spire is, yes, you can build flying units, and it's well worth it to put a timer on this Warp Prism and make it get the heck out of there. Once again, though, the 5th base of Astrea does go down, just like on Data C. Guys, we are seeing the exact same game all over again. The Lurker tech is literally just started. He just started his Lurker Den. This is appallingly late tech for Reynor. He would be the first player to say, I think I dropped the ball, guys. Like, seriously, his tech is so goddamn late. You're not meant to be stuck on Ravagerling Bane 15 minutes into the game, and yet he denies the 5th. He's still got a decent economy, and it's still a mostly Stalker army, but as more Psystorms come in, that's where things get nasty. Oh no, the Zealots on move command. There are a few cannons there though. Will they be able to defend the base? Yeah, with a Zealot warp in, definitely can. He denies Reynor's base on this left side. Reynor on 5 bases, he's on 4. Still got a good advantage for Astrea right now. Rebuilding the 5th on the far left side. Zerglings waiting their moment. The Banelings trying to roll into Archon Storm Stalker. Great trades for Astrea. And there is just no Lurkers out yet. Astrea, I think, can kill him. I think he could just shove. I think Astrea's got him. Lings run into shield battery cannon. Zealot. Reynor is getting pushed through right now. Astrea here in game 5, so close to breaking him. He's out of Banelings. He's got a handful of Roaches and Ravagers yet. He's trying to make Lurkers, but they're not ready. Astrea can definitely kill this base. Reynor gives up the expansion. And he's got no counterattack. The 5th is going up for Astrea, and he's killing the infestation pit there. He's going to get the hatchery, clear up the only Evo chamber, or one of the 2 Evo chambers, I should say, of Reynor. Reynor's got Lurkers out. He's going to send another Ling run by. If he can deny that 5th on the left side, that has been the Achilles heel of Astrea throughout this series. He's going to go for the natural. What's he doing? What's he doing with those things? He's going to find a few pylons. Oh, Astrea! He's going to walk his Colossus to the high ground. What the hell? He's going for the Hive snipe. Okay, Ling's coming. He's got to warp in a lot of Zealots at home. He's warping them in. Good warping in the Zealots. They'll be able to hold. He gets the Hive. Oh, there is Lurkers down there. There's 4 Lurkers there. He blinks most of his Stalkers back to the low ground. There's Astrea with some absolute Chad Gamer plays right now. Dude, this is sick. Zerglings still Adrenal +2 Zerglings, and he's already used up his warp in. I don't know how many gateways he's got available. Quick recall, and that's so important. He's got to defend this. He loses a lot of the probes, but I'm going to say a lot. It's not that bad. The Roach Ravager and a Lurker on the right side, up to 33 probes killed for 18 drones. Reynor's done a very good job of keeping his drones alive, but dude, he's back to 4 bases. I mean, not even 4. His main got sniped. He's rebuilding his hive from scratch. So he's got to make the lair, then start an infestation pit, and then start the hive. He's luckily got a Viper out to help him get there. Disruptors are being built right now. So that one Viper is going to be such an important unit. And Astrea is going to do a split push. A very smart way to play now. He's got Storm, Colossus, Archon on this side. Not the best for killing Lurkers, but they'll massacre everything else. And he's got also a big Stalker Storm Archon army on the right side. This is great play for Astrea. 83 probes versus 77. The Viper. Very nice. Grabs one Archon and then another one right into the clutches of the Lurker. Very good play there. The feedback's unable to get off Lurker. Only one Lurker down here. Astrea's got detection. Oh, does dodge the biles. He could push. He could shove this. Astrea could shove this. He doesn't know how many lurkers are there, right? He sees lurkers. He's like, there could be 5 lurkers. So he's going to try and use movement to get through. Little does he know just how naked Reynor is right now. Reynor has been caught out in the woods, taking a bit of a poo, and Astrea has tackled him in this game. I mean, Reynor's on 4 bases. He needs a good fight. He's going to go for a big surround. Big surround does come in, but oh my god, he gets the disruptor before it can fire. Great Psy Storms though, and I think even though he loses some units, I think that's a good enough fight for Astrea. He's up 8,000 resources in the units lost tab. Cannon battery being built on that side. This army pulling back, maybe being a little costly. I think we should be seeing more zealots doing run-bys, but Reynor's set up his lurkers there. He's remining that last bit of gas in his main. He's at a desperate spot. He's got to find a way through right here, right now. He's pushing Astrea back. Astrea's disruptor count is very low. Astrea falling back is going to have to give up his 6th base here. That is a lost position for him, and he does cancel it out. There we go. Cancels the batteries, the cannons, and the Nexus. And are we going to see... There we go. Still lurkers are set up on the defense. Reynor, though, denying the 6 bases, stopping him getting too far ahead. Stargate transition has just begun. He's going to try and settle things down. The infestation and now the hive are on the way. I do think if he just mass disruptors, he wins this game, but he doesn't realize that the hive is that slow. He doesn't realize there's only 1 Viper out, right? We get to see everything. We're like, dude, if you just make 10 disruptors, he can only abduct 2 of them. Disruptors counter the entire army, especially since you've got like Storm and Archons as well. You know, that'll be beautiful. Now, Astrea's going to take the bottom left side. He's going to expand in that direction. The Viper, look at this. He's Reynor just being very ballsy. Where's the feedback? He really should be feedbacking this Viper, knocking that bad boy, if not out of the skies, at least damaging it heavily. You can do 100 damage to it if you get it when it's full energy with the feedback. Fleet beacons on the way and going 3 Stargates. A lot of these probes, of course, the minerals are running out, so they don't really have anywhere to mine from. Zealot drop in the main. Okay, that Prism should get out of here. Don't want to be throwing the Prism away, as it does, of course, represent a very constant threat to Reynor. Army moving in here. Astrea's going to stumble into those lurkers, no doubt. It's always... You know, usually your observer doesn't see that far, so it's very hard to actually figure out if he's got units there or not. Got to be real careful the way Astrea's fighting in 3 places at once. Reynor's going to try and jump on him. The zoning storms make that a very costly maneuver, though. And he's transferring probes to this very dangerous base on the left side. Carrier transition's underway against a guy who's on next to no economy, just making Hydras. He's making 4 more Vipers. Now, what's kind of funny there is, yeah, Vipers can abduct, and if you... The carriers, that kind of works, but right now it's just about abducting Archons, Colossus, Disruptors, right? He's just saying, if I can use Vipers, I can maybe get some sick efficiency off. Hope he doesn't land feedback so we could do some stuff. Astrea is so far ahead, though. He's got the 6th base up against a guy who's just rebuilding his 5th, which has not even many resources left on it. The High Templar get a nice storm, softening up those lurkers along with the Colossus volley. Prism Siege is up in the main, then pulls away. He says, okay, as long as you've got about 10-15 supply tied up there, I'm not going to be able to press in that angle. That's okay. The cannon battery will be building here. He's got the storms there. He's still got a big army on the right side as well. I do think Astrea could be getting a bit more movement, maybe. Just pushing down to this area, clearing the creep up, and just kind of knocking back Reynor's vision. Reynor has a bit of vision with this Overlord, which makes him just a little bit more comfortable. Here comes the Viper as well. Oh, good feedbacks, but an abduct gets down on one of the Colossus. Here come the Vipers. They're going to abduct again. The other Colossus gets yoinked on in, but it does get out of there. The cannon battery actually providing a good little wall here. The lurkers can outrange those cannons, though, remember, and there's no high ground vision. He's going to try and shove through there. Oh, that's a lot of Overlords. Oh, Reynor might end up Omega supply blocked right now. Watch out, though. The flank! Flanky lurkers there, the cheeky little bugger that he is. Reynor does lose a lurker, but the Psy Storms are going to hold him back from being able to collapse on this army, at least. I think so, but man, he's so good at spreading his units on the fly. And he does manage to push back this army. Army on the left still sieging forwards. This is actually very impressive what he's doing. The carriers are coming out 3 at a time. He's got 5 Stargates, so it should be 5 carriers at a time right now for Astrea. He's got +2 air weapons and the plasma shields coming in as well. If he just gets out those 5 carriers, there's once again only a few Hydras and Queens that shoot up. Nothing else that shoots up here, guys. I think losing this base is not the worst thing, but losing the probes would be a bit of a bummer. That being said, it would free up supply to replace with carriers, Zealot run-bys, all those beautiful things. Astrea has still got Reynor pinned. Reynor yoinking these important units, though. The Vipers are paying dividends, but wait, he might get sandwiched. Has Reynor overextended? His Lings surround that whole army on the left, so it's not really a sandwich. Great abducts come down, and he gets 1, 2. Can he get the 3rd disruptor? Not quite. Realizing he doesn't have the Hydra upgrades, he's got muscular augments on the way. His Hydras don't have groove spines or augments. The disruptor comes in and gets a big boomy. Archon's coming in. The first carrier has arrived on the front lines. There's 4 carriers out, but I don't know where they are right now. It looks like they are just chilling at the rally point, which is actually kind of convenient because they could shut down this lurker run by. Reynor's hanging on for dear life. He needs this hatchery. He needs these resources. Zealots are going to get in on his expansion right now. A Stalker does see lurkers crossing. Astrea needs to get these carriers on the front line. He's got the superior economy. Reynor cannot rebuild right now, but he's just hanging on. He refuses to die. This is reminiscent of that game in 2019 BlizzCon group stage played over there in Korea up against Hero. Right before Hero went to the military, there was a game very similar to this, and Reynor just refused to die. And even when the air swap comes out, he still is finding ways to do damage. The carriers, there's no answer to the carriers right now, really, but he's still got great abducts for the disruptors. The storm goes down, but the disruptors are gone. And remember, lurkers wreck Archons. The carriers are going to jump on in here, though. There's no answer to it. There is a Spire. There is a Spire from earlier in this game. He can build Corruptors. He just doesn't have any minerals. Astrea should have this. He overwhelms the army there. Yes, he's losing some units and economy on the right side, but he's got all this Archon Stalker Disruptor still alive. The carriers are just killing all the lurkers. He's going to deny this, what is effectively almost the last mining base for Reynor. And he's still got a pretty fresh base in the top left as well as the 4th with good minerals on it. Reynor's out of minerals on this base. Reynor's only got the bottom right base now, and it's only got 4 mineral patches left. Astrea, with some spectacular macro play in this series, has just found a way to overrun and overwhelm and overpower the young gun, the Italian Stallion. You know, it really looked like the reversal was going to be complete, that Reynor was going to pull some magic BS out of his back pocket. But Astrea has just said, dude, you guys keep doubting me. You keep thinking, oh, you made a mistake there. You walked into the lurkers, this or that. But he says, dude, come on, guys. I have been training so hard. I've been over in Korea and kicking ass as hard as I can. He's been working his guts off, you know, in these tournaments. And you can see the way he's able to stay calm in the chaos, keep his opponent pinned with backstabs and zealot run-bys while expanding, while moving around in multiple areas. And it's actually so sick. He's got 11 carriers. He's overrun him. Feedback's just going to push back those Vipers. Not that there's anything to abduct him into anyway. And Astrea pushing Reynor out. A bit of a whimper there at the end rather than a bang. But my God, what a fantastic series. And both sides definitely having areas where they can improve like everyone does in StarCraft. But I think we have to bring back this game to that one very big mistake Reynor made here and on Data C, which is let's make a hive and have absolutely no tech transition planned. I mean, already it was a really late hive. He was trying to win with Ravager Bane. Remember the muters as well. I can't believe Astrea defended all this so well. This whole early stage, like the disruptors, cops the friendly fire to protect the pro. I mean, damn, remember how this game started? This is insane. It's actually insane that this went the way it did, but yeah. To go a hive without even having a Hydra Den started and then to not even think about it until like minutes after the hive finished. Big mistakes for Reynor in that regard, but I think he just thought he was going to win. He was in such a good position, but Astrea just blocked every move on a knife's edge. Beautiful, beautiful play there by Astrea. Great play by Reynor as well to make a game of it. I mean, this moment here as well. I forgot about this. How many moments can there be in one series? This is actually one of my favorite series of the year. I think this might actually be my series of the year because there's just so many of these cool moments. Like look at this from Reynor's point of view. It's just, he happened to be looking at it, thankfully. If he was not looking at this, there's no way. That could have been so much worse. That could have been so much worse. GG, well played though. Hats off to these guys. That was amazing.